Benata.
Andrew Holt, alternate.
John Comtois, alternate.
Ann Grasso.
Brian Dufresne.
Vincenzo Marfella.
Nick Demetriadis.
A motion to seat the alternates, please?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval of the agenda?
No changes.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public comments? Okay, moving on. Okay, development officer, not here. Okay, planning and development report, Mr. Popper?
Yeah, you know him.
It's been a long day, we're in early voting, let me tell
He's
you.
been here before,
No,
once or twice.
I thought he moved.
So we're very excited, we've got Advance Auto coming to town. We're very excited that the former Safety Light Glass building at 40 Semethi is now occupied and has been sold. It's occupied by, Burritt Processing Equipment. And they're a manufacturing company, they're gonna eventually have about 35 employees there. The warehouse space that was there is being converted into a manufacturing floor. I don't know if anybody made it to Alcap Ridge when we visited the two companies there, but, what they make at Alcap Ridge are basically, power boxes for large equipment arrays, like for, train bridges, basically it's an electrical box, with all this equipment in it. These folks that are moving in, the Verse Equipment Company, they specialize in servicing, large companies, basically manufacturers, and they manufacture these type of boxes, large control boxes.
Oh.
For manufacturing processes. So it's a very high-end workforce, it's electricians and people that, know that stuff. So we're very excited to have them here. They purchased the building. Apria Healthcare is still in half of the building, so we're very happy to see that. So two buildings up on Sabethy have sold. The office building sold for $4.5 million, and I haven't gotten the price of this sale. But they are occupying the building, so we're very excited about that.
Great.
We're hoping to see the plan, the work continues on 100 Berlin Road, so we're hoping to see that application in December. And, the Turkish supermarket is the Mediterranean Turkish supermarket is expected to open at the end of October.
Oh, this week, next week.
Yeah, next week. They're
Halloween.
for that, yeah. They've got everything set up, they're just working on a couple of the final touches. So it's very impressive, they've done a really nice job inside, and so they'll be like the new anchor of that shopping center, it'll be a great addition to the town.
Wonderful.
I don't know if anybody's got any questions about anything going on.
Anybody?
What's Popeye's opening date? Have they
They
set
don't
one?
have one.
They're actually finally moving along pretty well, though.
I know, this is the most work that they've done.
In months and months and months. It's come a long way in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, they've only got like another month to get it paved, so they better hurry up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then are they're gonna have
If
it,
they don't get it paved, they're not opening.
right,
Right.
do they have a different color in the building? Or it looks, well, it does look like a chicken coop.
Well, that's their color.
Yeah, it's a mustard.
Oh.
It's gonna be a mustard.
Yeah, that's their color. That's
I
the
mean,
same
it-
color everywhere.
Oh, I know, it really enhances our corner there, I'll tell you. Okay, moving on.
Honey mustard.
Goes with the chicken.
There you go. New applications, we only have one application, we'd ask you to accept, this is some cleanup to the town zoning regulations, and the town of Cromwell Planning and Zoning Commission is the applicant. We'd ask you to accept the application and schedule it to be heard at the second meeting in November, which I don't have my calendar up, I'll take a look, or if anybody knows the date, they can just shout it out.
Which one's second weekend in November?
Yeah, second Tuesday, so third Tuesday, that'll be the 18th.
18th.
Tuesday, the 18th.
Yep.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to accept and schedule application 2525 for Tuesday, the 18th.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
The public hearing for this evening has been canceled, the application was withdrawn, so we're kinda done with that for now. For new business, we have a presentation on Rivercog's Comprehensive Safety Action Plan for Cromwell, and we have representatives from FHI and from Rivercog here to make the presentation.
Great,
That's timely. Can I ask a question?
Certainly.
Did, I know the last time we did our regulations, Rivercog was reviewing them and pending any note, they're accepted, but did they make any comments on any of our regulations?
No.
No? Okay, just curious.
And they then also sent a copy of these changes.
Yeah, that's figured, but, okay, just curious.
And we will get all those changes, Stuart, right?
Are you guys ready? When you wanna make an introduction and then go to the computer?
Hello. Okay, there we go. All right. Hannah Brockhouse.
Hand her the microphone, whatever you do.
Okay. Deputy Project Manager Hannah Brockhouse with FHI Studio, and why don't I hand you the microphone?
Rob Harrimet, Senior Transportation Planner at Rivercog.
All right, so we have a slideshow presentation. I don't know how we can get that.
No, we do it, we do it.
Oh, you do it. Okay. Ah, there we go.
Hey! Just needed to warm
Don't
up.
sneeze, please.
Just needed to warm up.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so we'll start off by just saying, this is a really exciting project that we've been working on for just, I guess we're about month 16 out of 18, so we're kind of getting to the tail end of the project, but as I'll say over and over again, this is the safety. When it comes to roadway safety, it's an ongoing effort, and we really view this as the start of a process, definitely not the end of one. So Rob, did you want to say a few words? It sounds like this group is pretty familiar with Rivercog, but just...
Yeah, as we mentioned, my name is Rob Harriman. I'm the Senior Transportation Planner at Rivercog. We are the regional planning organization and transportation planning organization for the region. As many of you may know, your town manager, Tony, also serves as our chairman for both the COG and the MPO. Safe Routes to School for All is abbreviated SS4A. That's a relatively new discretionary grant program in the current federal transportation planning legislation. We had applied for a comprehensive safety action grant and was awarded that in 2022. Once an action grant is in place, towns are eligible to apply for implementation or construction grants. As Michael said, FHI was obtained by Rivercog. They've been working for about 16 to 18 months on developing the plan and are here to basically tell you where things are standing right now. So with that, I will turn it back over to Michael.
Thanks, Rob. All right, so we'll keep it pretty brief because the primary purpose for meeting with you tonight is we have some planning level concepts of Route 3 that we wanted to share with you. Out of kind of all and I'll explain a little bit more about why Route 3 was chosen, but we wanted to have a meeting in Cromwell because the corridor of concern, we advanced to some planning level designs and wanted to share that. But the project overview, we just wanted to provide a little bit of context and some highlights of the plan, and then present the concept plan. So, all right, so when it comes to the project overview, this is part of a federal program called Safe Streets and Roads for All, abbreviated SS4A. First and foremost, this is about safety, and more specifically, this is about preventing deaths and serious injuries on, in this case, the region's roadways. There's been a concerning trend. I mean, unless if there's any 5-year-olds in the room, for the course of our lives, we've seen a gradual reduction in serious injuries and fatalities nationwide. About 2020, that trend started to reverse and uptick a little bit. The federal government realized this concerning trend and immediately has released this program to really start to address it. So this is really framing everything around safety is how we should really be thinking about this program, and specifically those serious injuries and deaths. And this inherently leads us to think about vulnerable road users, so people who are walking and biking as well. All right, so we have a committee as part of this, and this committee develops some visions and goals, and part of, I wouldn't say requirement, but very strongly worded recommendation that all of these action plans set a date for eliminating fatalities and serious injuries on regional roadways. Our committee chose 2040 as that date, which is in line with a lot of other regions in similar scale and size. We have seen similar reductions over time to the point that we think that we can get to zero by 2040. It's an ambitious goal, but we believe it's an achievable one. We're really encouraging all municipalities and transportation agencies within the region to align their safety initiatives with what we're calling Vision Zero. Vision Zero is that goal of achieving 0 fatalities or serious injuries on the regional roadways. And then also, and more directly, what this plan does is that it's positioning you as municipalities to identify projects that can go on and get funding through the SS4A program. Rob kind of already mentioned this, but this is an action plan grant. There's a whole nother pot of money that is implementation money, and it's money that's meant for construction of projects. And this is a very large sum of money that the infrastructure law put into place. All right, so Comprehensive Safety Action Plan. And again, just touching on this to provide some context, we're mostly going to be talking about that first element, which is safe design. So we're focused on infrastructure, particularly on Route 3 today. However, just for greater context, policy and practices, education, enforcement, data monitoring, these are all required elements of a safety action plan and one that is included in the regional one. All right, so we've gone through a very data-intensive process to figure out where the major focus corridors are from a safety perspective. So we looked and reviewed crash themes for every roadway in the region with the exclusion of Route 9, I-95, I-91, and private roadways. So the reason that I-95, Route 9, and 91 are excluded is because those are limited access highways, and this particular funding source does have that emphasis on people walking and biking, and you're not supposed to do that on those roadways, and it's certainly not encouraged. What we did is from all of the regional roadways, we kind of got these down to more digestible project level segments to identify kind of the top 10 locations for improvements, to really help prioritize locations for future funding opportunities. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Cromwell in general and where it stands on kind of the crash history. So we reviewed 5 years of crash data, 2019 to 2023, including all of those years. There were 9 serious injury crashes, and as well as, I believe, 1 or 2 fatalities. The high injury network, so we did, one way of looking at the analysis was taking into account the most severe crashes that are occurring. Route 3 ended up on the regional high injury network, the area around Evergreen Road, just north of Route 9. A critical crash rate location was Route 99 at the Route 9 entrance ramp. This is what critical crash rate location, it takes into account the amount of vehicles going through an intersection. So although there might be more crashes in another area, this one says for the amount of vehicles that are going through that intersection, a lot of crashes are occurring. And then there's another location that I thought would be worth mentioning, Berlin Road, Route 372. And this has seen a number of crashes actually post 2023, in fact. So these are kind of the 3 primary roadways of concern that we conducted through a variety of different analyses. All right, so we're about to transition to actually focusing on this corridor, and I've got some handouts that you can take a look at. But what we do is we focus on design and implementation, things like skewed intersection geometry, visibility concerns, access management issues, so thinking about driveways in particular, and if the conflict points are presenting any challenges. We look at lighting. As I've mentioned, bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure is particularly important for the funders of this program, so looking at opportunities to complete the network. And then critical pedestrian infrastructure, especially near transit stops. All of these are things that we looked at very carefully. And I'll hand these out in just a moment, but planning level concepts and what it means. Don't think of this as the start of a process. Don't think of it as the end of a process. These are planning level, so further iterations of design are needed. Oh, thank you. What this really does and what this enables us to do is to assist with grant applications. To be successful for an implementation grant, you need to have some level of planning done for this that emphasizes community support and also identifies safety countermeasures, infrastructure that can be used to really address some of the crashes that are occurring on this corridor. Can you switch to right, so I know, and we met with Stuart, so it's really Stuart, the Connecticut Department of Transportation, because this is a state road, and RiverCog are the only ones who have really seen this. We're going to be posting this to the website, but we're eager to get your feedback in advance of that. But I wanted to talk through some of the elements here and why they were chosen, and have some time for discussion. So some of the things to be aware of is that there were 2 serious crashes that occurred. There was a head-on collision that resulted in a fatality on this corridor just north of the Evergreen Road intersection. There was also a collision that occurred from a turning vehicle that was headed northbound turning into the Woodland Drive. Woodland Drive is a private road, so our ability to change it, at least through this funding source, is very limited, but did strike a vehicle that was looking to turn left out of Woodland Drive. So as a result of having 2 serious crashes on this corridor, that's why it bumped up to be a regionally significant corridor. And just to put it into perspective, I think it's about 33 serious crashes that have occurred in the region. So to have 2 in particular, that's why this roadway was chosen, in case if you're wondering. I know some of the other corridors that I've mentioned earlier have seen an uptick in crashes in the last year or so. Definitely something that we've noted in the plan. All right, so some of the changes that I want to highlight. The westerly side of this roadway of Shunpike Road, we're suggesting could have the potential either in the short or long term to have a multi-use path which would allow for both walking and biking on it. It'd be bi-directional, it'd be 10 feet, I believe. And it would connect across the bridge there, across Route 9, to connect to some of the commercial areas just to the south. Having improved safe connections for people of all ages and abilities to access particularly employment opportunities, but also schools, is a real goal of this funding opportunity, which is why we included that. We also added crosswalks at each of the Evergreen Road legs right there, as well as adding some sidewalks where there currently aren't any in that location. The sidewalks on Evergreen Road could continue across the Route 9 bridge there because there are sidewalks just on the other side of that bridge. So we're really working to build that sidewalk connectivity. And I know it can be a challenge to build a network, as I'm sure you're familiar, but sometimes it has to be done in piecemeal. So that's why we're starting in this location, trying to connect to some other locations, and really working to build out that network. Other elements that I think are particularly important, although a little bit more on the kind of engineering, if you put your engineering hat on, having retroreflective backplates on the stoplight at Evergreen Road. This is a location where visibility can be concerned at different times of year. We heard some reports from members of the public saying that they were having a hard time seeing the lights change in this location, which is why we offered that bit of infrastructure. And I think those are the main points there, but there is a very strong emphasis on this, on pedestrian connectivity, because after kind of conversations and being a little bit aware of your success in getting some sidewalks put in throughout your community, we wanted to continue the good momentum there. So with that, I'll open it up to comments and questions.
Go right ahead.
So, for a question on the Route 999 connection, have you taken into account, or will it be mitigated when the restructuring of Route 9 through Middletown starts to go forward? Will that, because it's a merge is really what it is. You're merging into traffic, and during a number of hours, especially not just weekdays but weekends, trying to get through there on a Saturday or a Sunday, may be a cause of some of that concern. Do you think that, again, that the plan for restructuring Route 9 through that area may alleviate some of that?
I'm not actually sure about that project. So we didn't take a close look at that intersection from a design standpoint, just because this location rated a little bit higher, but we'll take note of that and certainly double check.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have a better answer.
No, that's fine. Just at least you're aware of it. So
Yes, that's
fine.
good to know. Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I have a
Yeah.
question. So I know you said that you don't really do anything with limited access highways. So
Correct.
Route 9 is pretty much off of your plate.
Yeah, it's excluded because of the federal grant. Yeah, it certainly wasn't our team's choice, but.
But with Route 3, just to the south of Middlesex Health Primary Care, there had been talk about possibly having that off-ramp redesigned and having it split, so part of the off-ramp would come directly up to Route 3.
Okay.
And the other part of it would still continue to go to West Street. And that was supposed to alleviate a lot of the traffic issue on Route 9.
Okay.
I mean, if you can't do anything about it and it's off of your plate, I understand, but it would be great if something could be done with this project and that project at the same time.
Yeah, that's great to know. This is why I come to these, right?
Yeah.
To find out about these projects. So we'll look up that because although Route 9 itself is not something, that we can address with this project, the access may matter, right? If there's a change in traffic patterns that we need to know about that may affect Route 3, we certainly need to consider that in these designs.
That would definitely affect Route 3.
Okay, that's great to know.
There had been some talk about on the southbound exit ramp, typically during rush hour, Route 9's exit traffic is backed up a half a mile to a mile. And there had been talk of having the exit ramp split halfway off and have part of it go directly to the plaza in line with the entrance and exit to the plaza. So that would essentially become a four-way intersection.
Okay.
But I mean, if you can look at it and it's something that you
Sure.
can put into the mix, please do.
Sure, yeah, we definitely will. One thing that I didn't mention, so we do have a two-way left turn lane running through here to alleviate some of the challenges pertaining to kind of backup, right? So when someone's making a left turn, everyone either goes into the shoulder to get around them, which is a maneuver that can be particularly dangerous for pedestrians who might be crossing in front of that vehicle, or it just kind of backs up the traffic, right? So having a two-way left turn added to this roadway could, help with that. So if there's additional volumes coming, that might be a little bit of it won't save the area from congestion, but it'll certainly help to reduce it.
Well, it'll also help get rid of the congestion at the West Street, Route 3. That T
Right.
intersection
Yeah.
is also horrible. And the other thing to look at on the West Street and Route 3 that I think would be on your plate, I don't know if the DOT has ever really done a good comprehensive study of the light timing. But it just seems like the lights aren't properly synchronized.
Right.
Where you've got one being green and the one right before it still being red, and people coming off it's a mess.
Okay, we'll check that. We do have access to that database at least, so
Yeah,
we
traffic
can look
light
into that.
synchronization of that entire interchange, I think, is sorely lacking.
Okay,
Thank you.
take a look. No, thank you. We just did, actually. We got to experience it for the first time tonight, but yeah.
Yeah, come through at rush hour. It's
Right.
a horrible animal.
Okay, that's good to know.
Just in looking at this intersection that you guys are talking about here, did you consider doing, like directional, like a right-hand turn only on Evergreen or a left-hand turn on like separate lanes as far as if you're traveling east on Evergreen Road towards Shunpike there, if you did a straight lane and a left lane and then a right lane and then a right lane to turn, because in particular, when if you're on Evergreen Road and you're stopped at that light, if you're gonna go straight, you have barely enough room there, and people are always trying to take the right-hand turn there. It's very tight through there. And if you noticed, you have kind of acute angles at this intersection too, so
Right.
I think if I had to guess, part of the cause of some of these accidents is that you have people turning into opposing traffic to make the turn.
Right.
Because when you look at, if you're traveling north on Route 3 and you're gonna take the right-hand turn onto Evergreen Road, that corner there is very tight as well. Whereas So if you're making that you're making a sharp right-hand turn, and if you have somebody coming up the hill towards the light and they're gonna take a left, that's kind of a collision point there, because you'll have sometimes you don't even need a big vehicle to be into that lane to make that corner. So you might wanna try to make those turns little less acute, make the intersection wider, so that you'll have a little bit better flow through there. And also, it's good too, when you have the lines, like the yellow lines that are checked, that are dotted through the intersection, so people can follow those lines.
Yeah.
So that they'll kind of stay in their lane a little bit too, because just from noticing and driving around, you have people cutting those corners hard.
Okay.
And I think that might be, and it's a smaller intersection and people are traveling at a higher rate of speed. So it might be better just to kind of widen it up a little bit and have just other turn lanes on Evergreen Road as well.
Okay, that's great feedback. Yeah, so I don't remember off the top of my head what the turning templates we used were, but we did double check the turning movements before, putting in this design. I don't know what size vehicle we were using, but we might look into expanding that, because at least box truck size, possibly school bus size, so we'll double check.
It's tight. Like, even just, I drive an F-150, and it's like, and when you take that right onto Evergreen off of Route 3, I'm using a decent, and I drive bigger vehicles normally, but even just like regular sized passenger vehicles, even large SUVs, you're taking up every bit of that turn not to go over the double yellow line there to make that corner. It's just tight.
That makes a lot of sense, and we'll certainly take another look at that. The one thing I just wanted to point out is that the two-way left turn lane that's going on Route 3 in this design, that's new turning pocket space to address like the Route 3 turns onto Evergreen. It doesn't really address the other way, but it gets the start of that. The part of the reason that that's more feasible on Route 3 compared to Evergreen is that so this drawing, this planning level concept does actually account for a roadway widening, which is within the existing right-of-way, which is a lot narrower than the street that's out there today. But and that is on the drawing. It's in dark red, kind of dotted, dashed lines at the intersection. It's it's an estimate. It's regional, national data, but it gives us a first start into understanding what possibilities might exist to be able to use a little bit more of that space to make some of those geometric improvements and accommodate more of those turning movements. The right-of-way is more limited on the Evergreen side, so we might not have, we'll take a look, but we might not have enough width to be able to add the turn pockets on Evergreen, and that could have been part of the reason that those didn't get added.
Just speaking to that.
Yeah.
It looks like you do have a little bit of room with that red line making the right-hand turn from Route 3 onto Evergreen. So
Yeah.
that might be definitely something you want to play with a little bit.
Yep, we'll take a look. These are great comments, thank you.
Yeah, because I live right off of Evergreen, and let me tell you, that road is narrow,
Really?
really narrow. I mean, when you come up and you want to take either a right onto Evergreen or specifically a left, if you're coming up from the shopping center and you want to get up to Willowbrook Road and things like that, you're just sitting there. Also, when the cars come up off of Evergreen to come up to Shumpike, then because some of them can make a right-hand turn going north, but then you have the other people making a left-hand turn to go down to the shopping center, there's really not enough room for two cars to be like this. They're just not. And, when everybody's talking about having bike trails, you have a bike trail in the middle of the road, I think that people have to get back to really thinking about, we have cars today that go 100 miles an hour.
Right.
It's not like back in horse and buggy day,
Right.
where you could have a person on a bicycle. Now you have what is called the e-bikes, and the kids are riding them, and they're going 60 miles an hour. They're not supposed to, but they're being sold to that. So, I mean, when you're talking about, you know, road safety, I think you need to come down a little bit and start really taking a look at what can really be done with the type of vehicles that everybody wants today, the type of speeds that everybody has, and the idea that they own the road and you better move or you're dead. Because that's really what it's coming down to. And I mean, you know, I think that, you know, all of this, you know, to have no accidents and I won't be around, but you know, that's a pie in the sky. There's never gonna be that you're not gonna have, unfortunately, accidents, because you have people, maniacs, that think that they hear their motors run and they just go. So I think that, you know, if you wanna take a look at something, let's bring it down and really take a look at what really and truly is really feasible in our day and age of high velocity, because,
Definitely gotten more aggressive, there's no question.
you know, I mean, for me, I came for, if you went 50 miles an hour, your car shook. That's how old I am. You know, and, right, but they don't even know, I mean, nobody knows that a car can go 50 miles an hour.
Right.
Nobody does. And so therefore, I think that when you really are looking at these things, you know, it sounds beautiful, it sounds wonderful, we can do all this. But let's get down to the nuts and bolts and really think about something that is really feasible and workable. I mean, because, you know, and also you have to take a look at, when you're talking about like Newfield Street. I don't know if you looked at Newfield Street.
Not yet,
This
no.
is Cromwell, we're not looking at Newfield
But,
Street.
wait, hold on, I know Newfield Street. Newfield Street comes into Cromwell. When you're coming up to the shopping center there, and anything happens, you have traffic backed all the way down to the light, past Dunkin' Donuts, and going down Newfield Street. So when you have to take a look at what's coming into this area. And with these brand new 200 apartments there, that makes a big difference. So that it's not like they're gonna stay in Middletown, they're moving into Cromwell. And guess why? Because Cromwell can get you to Hartford, and it can get you to Middletown, and this way. So we are the hub.
Right.
We are the major hub for people to get to where they wanna go, to New Britain, down to Route 91, and things like that. So it's not like, you know, it's all over here. All this stuff comes into the central, what is called Cromwell. And we are the major hub for cars, for traffic.
Go ahead.
Good spot for a toll.
So the green, what is that?
Oh, yeah, that's, it reflects an amenity zone, so it could be a planter strip. In some of the thicker areas, it could be something like a bioswale. You wouldn't put a tree in unless if it were at least 4 feet wide, probably more like 5. But yeah, for the most part, it's grass.
Why do you want grass? I mean, trees.
Just
Wait a
to
minute.
address,
Hold on. Ann was next,
Oh,
please.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. No, I know.
I just wanted to point out that we have a new health center at the bottom of your map where the N is.
Okay.
And that's going to bring in a lot of traffic right in the area that we're talking about where Route 3 comes into 372. So it is going to be helpful to have that put on your map, because actually your red dotted line is part of their property.
Their property. Okay,
Yeah,
great, thanks for that comment, that's helpful.
Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
What's that? Oh, do you know?
Middlesex. Middlesex.
Healthcare.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Not active yet, okay. Okay, thanks.
So the only question I have for you guys, the center lanes, the turn lanes,
Yes.
have you guys pulled data on how many crashes actually happen on those lanes?
Yes.
Because you do have individuals that drive straight through those lanes
Right,
to
right.
pass the person on the right. So how safe do you think it is putting in a turning lane, either
They
right
can
or
be-
left?
They can be very safe, yeah, so, there's definitely ways that we can mitigate that, for instance. This is kind of sort of we're thinking of it as a longer-term vision, so allowing kind of both. What we could do instead is like doing just turn pockets that just go in the one direction, and then you would hit either a median or just, it could be a painted median even, to, strongly encourage people to not drive down the middle if that's kind of a major concern or a major thing that you've seen occur in Cromwell. Generally speaking, having that level of separation can really be beneficial though. One of the crashes that occurred was a head-on collision just north of Evergreen Road, where one vehicle was just kind of swerved into the oncoming vehicle lane to hit it. Having a two-way left turn could have mitigated that. It could have provided enough space that there could have been a buffer. So that's why we've put it in here the way that we have, but it doesn't necessarily have to be this way. So if there is a concern about people driving, taking the two-way left turn and driving the whole way.
Oh, well, I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah,
I saw accidents firsthand
really.
that happened at lanes that were created for this purpose.
Okay.
So individual pockets, probably more beneficial, more safe. But coming from the standpoint, I've seen cars just driving straight, passing other cars, either on the left or right.
Left or right, yeah.
Because that car's going slow. It's just, it's another avenue to escape. So that's
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah, no, thanks. Go.
And the other thing is, have you guys gotten crash studies to see how many accidents have occurred on?
Yeah,
roadways?
this is a crash study, yeah.
Well, no, on roadways built the way you're actually
Yes,
designing
so there's
for that center lane.
Yes, so we took a look at the crash mitigation factors, which is a national clearinghouse of data to determine what the appropriate safety countermeasures were. In certain scenarios, it's not perfect because it's pulling from all over the place. It's not just pulling, from the localized location. But what we've done here is we've implemented improvements that have shown to have a reduction in crashes. Yeah, across the nation, not necessarily localized. Or the best we can do is really apply national best practices, because there's never kind of a perfect place you can replicate. But definitely really appreciate those comments. Thank you.
Brian?
Can you put rumble strips on the yellow lines?
You can. In a residential area, it's not strongly encouraged just because they do create a lot of noise. There are different kinds of rumble strips that create less noise. So often when you put in these rumble strips, you start to get complaints from neighbors when you put them in. However, it can be appropriate in certain locations, and not every single location on this corridor, has a residence right next to it. So yeah, we'll take a look. But yeah, good comment.
Go ahead.
So, to kind of piggyback off Andrew, when you come up north on Route 9, it's a merge. There's a two-lane merge. It merges into one. And same thing we may want to look at is keeping those two lanes separate.
Keeping them separate.
So they could take the turn without having to merge into the one. Because then that's what causes problems, because then cars go in between the two. They try and race up, and then they sit between the two, trying to beat the other cars coming across to take that right-hand turn. Even though it's
We
a
saw that
turn
exact
on the
thing play out, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry to interrupt, but yeah.
And the other point I was trying to make was, earlier today to the commission, I sent out an email with a link to the upcoming meeting for next Monday at the River Cog. And on that is a link to the presentation that you saw today, plus additional information about some of the meetings that took place to get to this point. So if you have comments or questions, you can certainly address them through that email as well. Not necessarily just to me, you can address them to the chair. I would suggest the whole commission if you want to send something to Rivercog. And I don't know if there's a specific area or person you want us to send our questions to.
Sure.
Because I'll be at the meeting on Monday virtually, but.
Oh, great, yeah. So we have a few meetings coming up, and since you raised it, we can get back to comments, but wanted to highlight that we are having a region-wide virtual meeting on November 12th at 6 p.m. That'll be recorded, so if you can't make it, don't worry, we'll post it to the website. But we do have a project website. If you want to skip to the next, and then we'll go back. So this is the contact information for Rob and me, if you need it. And Stuart certainly has our contact information as well. But the project website, if you just search for SS4A, RiverCog, or Comprehensive Safety Action Plan, RiverCog, you'll find the website, and you can get our contact information that way as well. But since we're up here, I'll just note that kind of what the end of this project, not the end of the process, but kind of this particular plan, we're looking to wrap up by the end of the year. So the virtual public meeting will be releasing the full action plan. So you can see all of those other elements, the kind of education enforcement, policy elements that apply region-wide, not just to Cromwell. So that will be posted, and there'll be about 30-day review period for that. We'll be attending the Rivercog board meeting. I don't remember who's on the board, but we'll see you there again. And then we're finalizing the plan at the end of the year. But it's definitely an ongoing effort. We view this very much as a shared responsibility across, members of the public, leaders, engineering, public safety, et cetera. And it's comprehensive is in the name for a reason. So.
If you had a guess,
No, go right ahead.
if you had a guess when something like this, construction on something like this would start, if you had to just complete this, 10 years, 5 years, 2 years?
Historically, you would say something like 8 years, but the purpose of the implementation grant program is to accelerate implementation, not slow it down. So the pot of money currently is bigger than it's ever been before, and that's what has slowed down really projects in general. Rob, I don't know if you have any case studies from the region. I can't pull out any, but when it comes to safety and realigning funding priorities, we chose this location because the data is really showing its significance from a safety perspective at the regional level, which if the program stays in place, which anything could happen in the coming years, but if the program stays in place, this will make it an excellent candidate for funding.
I just wanted to ask you, I see these green lines down here. What are those? They almost look like a grass?
Yes, they are grass.
Oh, it's just grass. You're not putting a bicycle path?
No.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure, because I heard you talk about sidewalks and then bicycles.
Right, so to be clear, the multi-use path on the westerly side
Right.
could accommodate cyclists, but on the green think of it as planter strips. It's generally grass, because most of these, I think, are 2 or 3 feet.
Right.
Farther south, it gets wider, which opens up additional opportunities, and that could be something that's figured out in later iterations of design. It could be trees if you wanted trees. It could be bioswales, rain gardens, those sorts of things. Those would fit into the wider areas, but not the thinner areas.
So when you're talking about a bicycle, are you talking about a bicycle path down here
On the west side, yeah.
on Shumpike?
Yes. So it would be separated from vehicles.
No, like separate.
It's not on the road. Yes.
No, I understand. I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at Shumpike going up, and where are you gonna put that bike path?
So it's within the public right-of-way still. So, yeah, so outside the existing roadbed.
How
there's,
wide?
So the bike lane, it would be 10 feet.
10 feet, okay. I'm just looking at, I'm just looking at, it going up across people's yards and things like that,
Well, it's
Right.
not people's yards, it's the right of way of the road. Just like when we build sidewalks, you have to think of it in the terms of sidewalks.
I am.
We're not riding horse and buggies anymore.
I understand that, but I'm gonna put this to you, because now you have a bicycle path that's 10 feet wide. Who's gonna take care of it, and who's going to shovel the snow?
Right.
People ride bicycles in the snow. Because that's going in the right-of-way, which I don't own, and here is my little house. So now am I expected to go out, take this bicycle path, and it's now my responsibility, although it belongs to the road, now all of a sudden I have to start shoveling bike paths, sidewalk paths. No, I mean,
It's
and
a
when they
serious
say
consideration,
that
yeah.
it's in the roads right away. So
Yes.
who owns the road?
The Connecticut Department of Transportation.
Oh, so then they can be the ones that take care of it.
That is something that needs to be worked out, yeah.
Well, because they own it.
Right, I don't know
Okay,
what
no,
the
I just-
sidewalk policies are.
I'm just bringing up a point that,
Yes.
okay.
It's a very good one. I think maintenance is, something that really needs to be considered as we weigh these. But when I talk about kind of the start of a process, this is what I'm referring to. These
Right.
are kind of the details,
Yeah.
sometimes significant details that need to be worked out.
Yeah, just, really kind of thought about and things like that, I mean, because it's not in your property, it's in this, okay, fine.
Right,
So who's gonna take care of it?
right.
You are. Just to clarify, it's a bike path, but it's really a sidewalk. It's a public
It's a
easement,
multi-use path.
but it's a sidewalk. It's cement, that's what I'm
It
asking.
would be cement,
It's
yeah.
not part of the road.
It could be cement, there could be other materials, it could be asphalt. But
But
no,
it's-
it's not
it's-
part of the road.
Okay.
It
that's-
would be elevated.
Yep, that's all I needed, thank
Okay,
you.
I just wanted to make sure on that.
Yep.
Because I have new sidewalks on Willowbrook Road, which are wonderful. People still walk on the other side of the road. I know. So that, I'm just saying is that,
Yeah, no, understood.
water, but you cannot make them drink.
Yeah.
But no, I think that, I think that this is a good start. And, and I hope that it continues, and I hope the money will be there.
Okay, great.
No, I definitely wanna commend your efforts here.
Yes.
Because this is definitely a problem area, one of many, but I appreciate you guys looking into this
Yes.
and wanting to address these issues because, yeah, it's a good issue to tackle.
Yes.
Happy to. You've got a lot of great momentum happening in Cromwell, so
Yeah.
happy to be a part of it.
No, because somebody has to start something somewhere. Congratulations on that. You've taken our beautiful town of Cromwell, which is very energetic.
Yep, it shows. All right, well, again,
Does anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, if
before?
there's, Stuart certainly has my email address and Rob's, so, if you have any additional comments, feel free to hold on to these. We'll be posting this along with the plan, so eager to hear public feedback as well, so.
And I think, Nick, because you're on the COG, that you are very good at keeping the commission here informed. And, so that this would be really the good contact, just because he'll put out everything to everybody, and because he's on the COG, he kinda knows the most important parts that you need to have support for.
Okay, fantastic. You'll be seeing me again.
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, thank you
Thank you.
your time. Thank you.
And Andrew.
So is there any changes to the minutes as presented?
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioners' comments, anybody have any comments?
I
Yes?
always have comments.
I know you do.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. It was an interesting question you brought up about that exit off of Route 9. And here's my concern about that now, more than in the past. So, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good, you're good.
So, we put in that new medical center. Now you're talking about having that exit come up off of the ramp and facing the Cromwell, that Commons, the.
Yeah,
right?
well-
But let me just, my concern is this.
Yeah.
We're already having sink problems at that busy corner.
Right.
Now you're gonna add another four-way stop. You gotta have a stop coming out of the shopping center, a stop coming up from the ramp,
Yep.
a stop coming north, and a stop coming south.
Yep.
About 150, 200 yards from an already crazy intersection.
Yep.
And that's all gotta be synced and timed.
Yep.
Because otherwise, you're gonna have a bigger mess now, because now you're affecting the traffic coming up from Kentucky and Red Robin,
But
coming
you're
up and
also-
across,
you're also
and cutting
gonna
across.
get-
You know what I'm
you're
saying?
gonna- You're gonna lessen the amount of traffic that goes to the West Street intersection by, I would say, 50%.
I get that.
Cause
but-
half of the stuff that, they go to the top of the hill.
And they take that right, they
take
don't
a
stop
right,
on
they
red.
go at that
Right.
light,
Yep.
they don't stop, they
don't stop.
I know, it's,
I
but,
don't think anybody's I don't mean to bust your bubble.
yep,
But nobody's seriously looking at this point.
oh, I know,
God,
it's
no.
been proposed and proposed, that was Myron Johnson's
Right.
claim to fame
Right.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
But all I'm suggesting is, I understand what you're saying, but you're just shifting the burden of that traffic up a couple hundred yards, and now you're gonna create another stopping point, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that stopping point and this stopping point is gonna, I think, if not synchronized correctly, double the traffic problem in that area.
All I'll say is that,
Cause now people are gonna be taking a right turn out of the shopping center where they can't do it now.
What they need, though,
no, they can't take a right turn on the
If you
shop.
put a light there, they may be able to.
Well,
That's just gonna add
not a traffic engineer.
No,
but
I know, I'm just,
But somebody that has more intelligence than I about traffic
yeah.
needs to look at
I
it.
don't know where that would end up, but yeah.
And it hasn't, I mean, it's
No,
been
it's not going
proposed to
anywhere.
the
It's not
DOT,
gonna
it
talk
hasn't
about
gone anywhere.
No. And also them coming off of Route 9 onto West Street, they buck the light, every one of them.
Of course,
And so you're
because
sitting
the
here.
light isn't properly timed.
Well, no, but we have it here, and so they wanna get over to the lane so they can go down to, we'll say, McDonald's or whatever, but it's really getting down to Newfield Street. And so therefore, they're coming across, so now they're blocking the lane here with the 2 or 3 cars, and you can't come down West Street. Yeah,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
so how you doing, kiddo?
Good.